Are you ready for the eclectic one? AKA Pat is here.
AKA Patters, what is happening? We're running with the comments. Thank you for joining me. If you're commenting, all right, so if you talk to me, your comment's going to show up like right over here. Now, here's people over underneath here. I have a confession. I kind of been day drinking all day. I kind of got done with the job, the 9 to 5 a little bit early, and decided to meet up with a super sexy senorita, and well, that's kind of where we are right now. So, and we're going to talk Dr. Seuss, and I'm going to give you a couple promos and a couple of insights into a little bit of the Philly independent game. But if you're out there, thank you so much for joining me. I believe this might be the most important live stream that I do because I grew up deeply in love and obsessed with Dr. Seuss to the point where through my adulthood, I've done my best to track down original versions. I've read his biography more than once, and by original versions, I mean like first prints. So I got a lot of Dr. Seuss books. Believe it or not, one of the books I never had from Dr. Seuss was and right here, and I to think I saw in Mulberry Street. This is his first attempt at a children's book. I never owned it. So in Philly, when the news hit that this, it blew my mind that this was on the list of what got banned. Okay. And let's get original lighting. So I ran out to this used bookstore. No joke, everyone. I just bought the book for $7.50. This is a 1989 edition. I believe two of these just sold for like $2,000 on eBay. So I was grateful. That this was still available. I don't know why I was such a late bloomer to this, but I'm not selling it. I can't sell it because I just feel like this is a historical document at this point. There's that scene in V for Vendetta where Natalie Portman, and this is also within the comic, but we'll just use the movie terms, where Natalie Portman sees V's treasure room. And the treasure room essentially is everything that was canceled by the British government and society as time marched on, and he actually curated this giant, amazing collection. People, I feel like this is a part of it. Like we're in V for Vendetta right now. I'm not sure who this offends. Like I have to come out of the gate and say that because I went through it a few times. The book itself, when it comes to like Dr. Seuss's catalog, like this book came into my lexicon. TNT or TBS had a Seussical, right? It was like this like special with Rosie O'Donnell, and I believe Rosie O'Donnell portrayed the Cat in the Hat, but it wasn't Seussical the musical. But it was TBS had this special that was highlighting the life of Dr. Seuss through his stories, very similar to the Rocket Man movie that just came out. And in the movie, they detail how Dr. Seuss kind of portrays himself right here as the protagonist, and he grew up on Mulberry Street. So ever since I was a teenager, a kid in high school, I think I saw it. Mulberry Street was always in my it was in my mind, and it took me too long to buy this book. And I'm very grateful I was able to really buy this book yesterday for roughly $8 without having to pay right now thousands for it. Because a few of these I've sold for a few $1,000s on eBay. They're selling easily in the hundreds for low condition. So I don't know. We're going to get into this real quick, but let me just preview some of my upcoming stuff. The next movie adaptation will be Universal Soldier by the fantastic Now Comics. Now Comics collectively could be the greatest licensor for American comics ever, next to Dark Horse. And I say next to Dark Horse because everyone focuses on Dark Horse, but Now Comics set the stage for Dark Horse. We will be doing that. When I bought this, there's a charge limit. This bookstore, you guys spend at least $15. So for $5, I got Here Comes Tomorrow, Grant Morrison, Mark Silvestri. I will say it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Here Comes Tomorrow is Mark Silvestri's greatest comic book work ever. This is highly influential to me, just on the visuals, the way how he puts the imagery together, the stories, the paneling. It's not condensed. It's wide open enough. This is such a perfect storm. Fantastic ending to the Morrison run. As much as I'm a fan of the Morrison run, it does create an end of the X-Men franchise. There's no turning back at this point. We can easily say the franchise has never been this good after this. So it's a little bit of a franchise killer. He did the same with The Dark Knight. And I just got this. So for Wildstorm Wednesday, people, it's growing. But Wildstorm has a couple choice licenses that are above and beyond what they should have been doing at the time. Just congruency, thought and action aligned. The Wildstorm Thundercats, of all the 80s boom when the everything 80s came back, all right, the Wildstorm Thundercats is easily the absolute best one, because I was never really into the changes from the Devil's Due G.I. Joe, and I was never really into the changes and the retcons from the Dreamwave Transformers. I thought a lot of those retcons were lazy. Thundercats has the through line from the original series. Philly. Here we go. Are you familiar with Scarf Comics? This is free. This is available in Philly. Okay, how amazing is this? I've reached out to this guy. I'm like, whatever you need to do, let me have, can I have a story? He always says he's beyond full, so. But we'll see. Maybe one of these days, you'll see your boy with the rising social media account have a scarf story. So when I say I'm really into Dr. Seuss, I mean this. If I ran a circus, this is one of my, I just pulled these. These are two of my favorite. I completely love this version because it's from a child's playroom. Like the pencil marks and everything. The paper quality here. This is the 1956 version. The paper quality alone is just significant. And the yellow and the red, really, it just screams. Like, I love the colors for this so much. But that's a lot of Dr. Seuss. It's colors, it's ideas, it's motion. One of my art teachers introduced me to the concept of what cross-hatching was. Like right here. Okay? Through Dr. Seuss. All right, it was because of Dr. Seuss I knew what cross-hatching was. And I knew cross-hatching was done with a brush. If I ran a zoo, I'm pretty sure this is first print. So the other first print that I have is this, the Cat in the Hat. Number 1 edition, number 1. We all know, right? Let's see here. This is a book club edition, but it's 1957. And here we go, right? First edition, Cat in the Hat. paper quality unmatched. There's a value to hunting down the old books for the paper quality alone. But see, like the cross hatching here, it's like, right, we go this way, and then we cut it in this way. Like right here, and then this. And then we create value. So, come at me, bro, when it comes to Dr. Seuss. The other thing I wanted to show you. So, after that TBS documentary, this came out. Everyone, take a screenshot of this. Cheers to you. We're doing coffee because I've been drinking all day. Cheers to you. I've had this since they came out. I mean, look, 95. So I've been through this so many times. This book, and here's the crazy thing. Okay, Dr. Seuss was a German in America around multiple world wars that involved Germans basically trying to enslave and destroy and take over the known world. That's really what those two world wars were all about. It was really a single country trying to inflict its might, and even successfully through allies, unlike anything we've ever seen. And we haven't seen it since. I mean, maybe right now, big tech, corporate media is sieging a war very similar. But Mr. Geisel, he got a level of discrimination that is textbook. Because he was, him and his family, they just wanted to make a living in America. But they were German. And they were discriminated against because their fellow countrymen decided to wage two wars against everyone. So when it comes to these terms that we use today to describe being aware of discrimination, you don't get any more discriminated against than Mr. Geisel here at the time that he grew up. And the fact that he went from here to this, it's extraordinary. It's an attribute to the American system. It's an attribute to capitalism, to the economy. And guess what? Best in class. Because that's what Dr. Seuss has always been. You cannot compete with Dr. Seuss when it comes to children's books. And I love how there's all of these celebrities out there that want to act like Madonna, Carrie Fisher. It's a long, distinguished list. They think they can write a children's book. They think they can educate children. And every single one of those books completely sucks. But Dr. Seuss, I believe he's written 44 books. 44. It's like 2 books a year when it comes to a career. Right? Slow down in your later years. But let's have a look. Let's have a look at right now $1,000 Dr. Seuss edition. Right? 1989 right here edition. 1989. When I leave home to walk to school, Dad always says to me, Marco, keep your eyelids up and see what you can see. But when I tell him where I've been and what I think I've seen, he looks at me sternly, says, your eyesight's much too keen. Stop telling such outlandish tales. Stop turning minnows into whales. Now what can I say when I go home today? We're in an age, right? We're in an age of people spinning yarns and getting attention for it. So thank you, Twitter mob. So this book hit the radar when people realized what was drawn in the book, not anything that was said. So let's go through the drawings. We have a guy with a hat with a derby, couple potted plants, and we have an animal eating its oats. Okay. Oh, now we have a guy in the derby with some potted plants with a zebra creature thing with a like a fin of some sort. Everyone's happy, by the way. Here you go. I'll say that a zebra was pulling the cart, and that is a story that no one can beat. When I say I saw it on Mulberry Street. Okay. Oh, I don't know. We have some Cobra Kai dude. A little bit of a mustache with a zebra. Yes, the zebra is fine, but I think it's a shame. Such a marvelous beast with a cart that's so tame. Whatever, moving on. Okay, we're good here. Okay, so now we have maybe the Kung Fu guy. Trigger warning. And we have like a moose. I know a lot of you were watching this. No one's commenting. Good job. All right, we have Eskimos now on the sleigh with the moose. All right, there's a game of one-upsmanship here. Oh, now we have the Eskimos with the sleigh with the Aladdin guy and an elephant. Is this the offensive part? Have a Raja with rubies perched high on a throne. Say that makes a story that no one can beat. When I say I saw it on Mulberry Street. Oh, now we have the Raja and the elephant pulling a string band, right? A quartet, or I don't know, not a band. Okay, cool. Oh, now we have two giraffes, the Raja, the elephant, the band, and an old guy with a hut, I guess. Yeah, he's cooking something. That's really too heavy, a load for one beast. I'll give him some helpers. He needs two, at least. Okay. The helpers are the giraffes. Cool. But now what worries me is this. Mulberry Street runs into bliss. Unless there's something I can fix up, there'll be an awful traffic mix-up. Cool. Okay. Now we have some policemen. Maybe Blue Lives Matter, defunded the police. I'm not sure the message here. You know, because this book was written in the 50s, 1957. But in 1957, we have a couple cops, and they're making their way. They're helping these guys get through the city or the town. Oh, and here we go. The mayor is there, and he thinks it is great, and he raises his hat as they dash by the stand. Okay, so now we have, like, here's the one-upsmanship. This is very common. This is a very common theme in the Dr. Seuss tropes. We have the Raja, we have the elephant, we have the giraffes, the band, the old guy with the hut, the cops helping their way, and now we have some politicians in the mix. This is like a Joe Esrajas movie. The one-upsmanship is insane. And then we have what is happening here? Now we have like an airplane with two men on the wings dumping confetti. So we have to read the caption here. With a roar of its motor, an airplane appears and dumps out confetti while everyone cheers. Okay, so we were right. And that makes a story that's really not bad. But it still could be better. Suppose that I add, a Chineseman who eats with sticks, a magician doing tricks, a 10-foot beard that comes a comb. No time for more. I'm almost home. So this guy, this is it the Raja? Is it both? Is it the police? Okay. I spent some time in Chinatown today, by the way, and I did see some chopsticks in there. Oh, I swung around the corner and dashed through the gate. I ran up the steps. It felt simply great. Cool. And here we go. Nothing I said growing red as a beet, but a plain horse and wagon on Mulberry Street. So there you go. I don't know, people. Prove me wrong. So real quick, there's ways you can support me. One of the easiest ways to support me, go to Etsy now, search Uzi Susie. This is issue 2. We're already working on issue 2. This is my comic. $25 will get you this comic and a bunch of really good things. I am actively working on Trial by Fire, and then through my social media feeds, it's a lot of my sketchbooks. This is my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sketchbook. Okay, my upcoming March of Joy sketchbook that I have to kind of start preparing. So people, follow me on social media, aka Pad69. Rock and roll. I love you. Thanks for joining me.